Have you ever felt a sudden twisting knot in your stomach before a high stakes presentation, or experienced a sudden loss of appetite after receiving bad news? We often dismiss these physical sensations as mere metaphors, calling them butterflies or attributing them to simple nerves. But what if that fluttering feeling is actually a profound biological conversation taking place in real time? The reality is that your digestive system and your emotional state are engaged in a constant high speed dialogue that dictates how you experience the world. For decades, modern medicine treated mental health and digestive health as entirely separate disciplines, assuming the brain dictated our emotions in complete isolation. This fragmented approach led to a widespread misconception that anxiety, depression, and stress were strictly chemical imbalances occurring solely between our ears. We now know this isolated view is fundamentally flawed. The profound connection between what we feel and how we digest is not just a quirk of human anatomy, but a foundational pillar of our overall well being. Beneath the surface of your digestive tract lies a complex network known as the enteric nervous system. This sophisticated web of over 100 million neurons lines your entire gastrointestinal tract from the esophagus down to the rectum. It is so extensive and so capable of operating independently that scientists frequently refer to it as our second brain. This localized command center manages the intricate mechanics of digestion, but its responsibilities extend far beyond simply breaking down your last meal. Anatomical mapping reveals that the primary physical link bridging these two neural hubs is the vagus nerve. Measurements show this massive cranial nerve acts as a bidirectional biological superhighway, transmitting rapid fire data between your skull and your abdomen. It regulates heart rate, controls digestion, and relays sensory information about the state of your internal organs directly to your brainstem. Without this crucial cable, our bodies would struggle to coordinate the most basic life sustaining survival functions. The real surprise lies in the direction of this traffic, fundamentally changing how we view the body's hierarchy. Researchers have discovered that nearly 90% of the fibers in the vagus nerve carry information from the gut up to the brain rather than the other way around. Your digestive tract is essentially functioning as a massive sensory organ, constantly updating your primary brain on the internal environment. This means your stomach is doing a lot more talking and your brain is doing a lot more listening than we ever previously imagined. This upward flow of data fundamentally reshapes our daily emotional regulation. When the primary signals reaching the brain are distress calls from an unhappy digestive system, the resulting mental state often mirrors that physical discomfort. Conversely, a calm and well functioning digestive tract sends reassuring signals upward, promoting a baseline of psychological stability. Our daily emotional resilience is intimately tied to the messages traveling along this invisible neural highway. Driving this continuous transmission of data is an incredibly diverse ecosystem known as the gut microbiome. This thriving metropolis consists of trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi residing primarily in your large intestine. Weighing roughly as much as your brain, this microbial community is as unique to you as your fingerprint. These microscopic residents are not passive hitchhikers. They are active, deeply influential participants in your daily physiology. One of their most critical functions is the manufacturing of neurochemicals, fundamentally challenging the idea that our mood is solely a brain based phenomenon. Consider serotonin production, a process vital for regulating mood, sleep, and appetite. While we traditionally associate serotonin exclusively with the mind, an astonishing 95% of the body's supply is actually produced by the cells in your digestive tract, heavily influenced by the bacteria living there. This microbial factory also generates dopamine, gamma aminobutyric acid, and other key neurotransmitters that directly shape our mental state. The impact of these microbial chemicals extends far beyond the intestinal walls, acting as systemic regulators of our nervous system. While the neurotransmitters themselves do not directly cross the blood brain barrier, they stimulate the vagal pathways and influence the production of other active compounds that do reach the brain. They create a chemical environment that can either soothe our central nervous system or put it on high alert. When this delicate inner world is flourishing, it provides a stable foundation for cognitive clarity and emotional balance. A pervasive myth suggests that we can optimize our mental health while entirely ignoring our dietary habits. Many believe that as long as they consume enough calories to survive, their psychological state remains untouched by their food choices. This dangerous disconnect ignores the reality that every bite we take either nourishes our beneficial microbes or feeds the opportunistic strains that drive dysfunction. You cannot build a resilient mind on a foundation of highly processed, nutrient depleted fuel. When our dietary choices consistently favor sugar, artificial additives, and refined carbohydrates, we trigger a state of microbial imbalance known as dysbiosis. The beneficial bacteria that produce calming neurotransmitters are starved and outcompeted by less favorable microbes. This shift in the population fundamentally alters the chemical messages being sent upward to the brain. The resulting internal environment becomes a breeding ground for systemic disruption, turning the once harmonious dialogue into a chaotic alarm. This chaotic alarm often manifests as chronic inflammation, a prolonged immune response that damages healthy tissue over time. Dysbiosis can weaken the delicate lining of the intestines, leading to a condition commonly referred to as increased intestinal permeability. When this barrier is compromised, bacterial toxins and undigested food particles escape into the bloodstream. The immune system immediately recognizes these microscopic invaders and launches a defensive inflammatory strike. This defensive strike does not remain localized in the abdomen, which is where the true danger to our mental health begins. The inflammatory markers released by the immune system travel throughout the body and can successfully cross into the brain's environment. Once inside the brain, this systemic fire disrupts normal neural function, slowing down processing speeds and altering emotional regulation. This widespread immune response is increasingly recognized by researchers as a major underlying factor in the development of mood disorders and cognitive decline. Modern psychiatric research provides compelling evidence for this inflammatory pathway connecting the stomach to the mind. Studies consistently show that individuals suffering from major depression and severe anxiety often exhibit elevated markers of inflammation alongside distinct imbalances in their microbial populations. When scientists transfer the gut bacteria from depressed human patients into sterile mice, the animals begin exhibiting symptoms of anxiety and behavioral despair. The physical state of the microbiome directly dictates the psychological state of the host. Recognizing the signs of this inflammatory cascade is the first crucial step toward reclaiming our well being. Persistent brain fog, unexplained fatigue, and sudden mood swings are often the earliest neurological symptoms of a digestive system in distress. By learning to interpret these cognitive signals as potential cries for help from our microbial residents, we can intervene before the cellular damage compounds. The goal is to extinguish the systemic fire by addressing its source in the digestive tract. The most powerful tool we have to reshape this internal ecosystem is dietary fiber. Found abundantly in vegetables, fruits, legumes, and whole grains, complex fiber is the primary food source for our beneficial bacteria. When these microbes ferment fiber, they produce short chain fatty acids like butyrate. These incredible compounds nourish the intestinal lining, reduce localized swelling, and send powerful anti inflammatory signals directly to the brain, effectively repairing the communication breakdown. The scientific consensus strongly supports dietary interventions as a primary defense for mental health. The Mediterranean diet, rich in diverse plant fibers, healthy fats, and fermented foods, has been repeatedly shown to lower the risk of depression and improve overall cognitive function. Fermented foods like kefir, kimchi, and sauerkraut introduce live beneficial bacteria, acting as natural reinforcements for our existing microbial army. This nutritional approach is rapidly becoming a cornerstone of preventative psychological health care. But our plates are only one part of the equation. We must also address the external stressors that actively degrade our internal environment. Chronic psychological stress triggers the release of cortisol, a hormone that can directly alter the composition of our microbial populations and increase intestinal permeability. Implementing daily stress reduction techniques, such as deep breathing exercises or meditation, directly stimulates the vagal pathways, sending calming signals downward to protect the delicate digestive environment. Exercise physiology also reveals a surprising dimension to this interconnected biological system. Physical activity does much more than build muscle and improve cardiovascular health. It actively promotes microbial diversity within the intestines. Regular cardiovascular exercise increases the abundance of bacteria that produce those vital short chain fatty acids. The physical movement of our bodies creates a more resilient and diverse internal ecosystem, proving that mental, physical, and digestive health are inextricably linked. We are currently standing at the frontier of a medical revolution known as nutritional psychiatry. As researchers continue to map the complex interactions between specific bacterial strains and human behavior, the potential for targeted treatments grows exponentially. In the near future, we may see the widespread use of psychobiotics, which are specific probiotic strains prescribed specifically to treat anxiety, depression, and cognitive decline. The future of mental health care is inextricably tied to the health of our digestion. Understanding how early life shapes this ecosystem adds another layer of profound importance to the science. Our foundational microbiome is established during birth and the first few years of life, heavily influenced by delivery method, infant feeding, and early environmental exposures. While this early seeding sets our baseline, the incredible plasticity of the biological system means it is never too late to enact positive change. The ecosystem is continuously adapting to the daily environment we provide. This incredible plasticity is deeply empowering for anyone struggling with their health. It means that we are not passive victims of our neurochemistry or our genetics. Every meal we consume, every walk we take, and every moment of stress we successfully manage is an opportunity to cultivate a healthier internal world. The echoes of balanced nutrition still resonate through every fiber of our being, offering us a profound degree of control over our daily emotional experience. Making daily choices with this dual system in mind fundamentally transforms our approach to self care. Instead of treating a headache with a pill and ignoring the digestive distress that accompanied it, we begin to look for the root cause. We start asking whether our current diet is supporting our cognitive demands or if our high stress lifestyle is quietly dismantling our microbial defenses. This holistic perspective is the key to unlocking sustained vitality. The compounding effects of this biological alignment are truly life enhancing. When we consistently nourish our microbiome, reduce systemic inflammation, and manage our stress, the physiological benefits accumulate over time. We experience sharper focus, more stable moods, a stronger immune system, and a profound sense of physical resilience. By tending to the microscopic garden within us, we lay the groundwork for a longer, healthier, and more vibrant life. The connection between our digestion and our minds is no longer a mystery, but a master key to human health. The trillions of microbes working in the dark, the rapid fire signals bridging the abdomen and the skull, and the complex chemistry of our brains are all part of one unified system. By respecting and nurturing this intricate biological partnership, we step into a clearer, more empowered era of personal well being.